Wednesday on Sunrise, the partying continues long after the last out.
All-star aftermath. And a look at traffic that will cause you trouble on Sunrise at 6:30.
You are looking live at the scene outside the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome. 55,000 baseball fans are expected here tonight, while millions more watch on television as baseball's very best come to the Dome for the 1985 Major League All-Star Game.
Live from the Metrodome, it's the 1985 All-Star Game on News 11's Sports Special. Brought to you in part by 3M, where one idea leads to another. And by Red Lobster Restaurants. There's never been a better place, and now there's never been a better time for seafood. Here's News 11 Sports Director Tom Ryder.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to TV 11's coverage of this Midsummer Classic as the National League and American League All-Stars go at it for the 56th time. The Metrodome is starting to fill up with fans, and besides the game tonight, other news in baseball centers around a possible August 6th player strike. Player reps voted on that date yesterday if there is no agreement with management. Tonight's game is on, and speaking of controversy, even the Metrodome is the center of such turmoil because it has raised questions since it was built 4 years ago. Yes, the Metrodome does have a reputation for being almost impossible for some players to follow fly balls.
If any of your players drop a pop fly, I don't blame them, because you just can't pick up the ball once it gets up there.
So that brought our News 11 sports crew out to conduct our own test earlier this season. We discovered the ball was hard to see.
Black hole, in and out, that's tough. Okay, and at the last minute, I almost lost that ball. But the name of the game is, you don't take your eye off of it.
It takes a lot of practice to learn how. The Stadium Commission did try to improve the lighting with more illumination on the ceiling. And last week, our News 11 would-be outfielders returned to the Dome for another test. Looks a little better, but we'll soon know.
Okay, and I'm going in, dark light. Boy, it's not a lot better. Hi, Jeff. That one's way up in here, and it's way back now. I turned my eye on it, and I got it, but I barely saw it. Jeez.
Our unofficial prognosis, there is some improvement, but not that much. And if the National League All-Stars have not taken extra time to learn how to follow the ball here, there could be some very embarrassing moments for them and for the Metrodome's credibility as a ballpark tonight. This is not the only difficult place to play baseball. Our Steve Carroll headed way out west to track down another reputed monster.
Valley Forge, Bastogne, Candlestick Park.
My legs. Medic. I can't feel my legs.
Hey, easy, kid, easy.
It's the cold weather that makes the stadium on the Bay among the worst in baseball. Even on summer nights, temperatures drop so dramatically during the course of a game that fans are forced to bundle up in blankets, gloves, and hats just to stay warm. The players have to do the same with heavyweight coats. Swirling winds off the Bay add to the misery of a summer night at Candlestick. The Giants want to move out, but details haven't been finalized. We tested the winds at Candlestick with the help of a plastic ball.
Whoa! That thing went about 55 directions. Hi now. I got it, I think. Holy smokes. That thing was like a knuckleball out there. So that's what it's like here at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. Now let's go to Jeff Passelt for a report on a classic American League ballpark.
Pretty good poke, Steve, but not long enough. Knocked down by the Green Monster, the most notable idiosyncrasy here in Boston's Fenway Park. In fact, there are a lot of things.
The field's boundaries are as varied as they come, with a fence that meanders every which way. And when you get to right field, beware. The glaring daytime sun is blinding. The tight confines of Fenway offer little fall territory, and inevitably, every year at least one player gets a crash course on just how little room there is. They say the fence at Fenway is too high, but Oakland's Mike Davis may have a complaint about the fence in Anaheim being just a little too low. And we often hear how artificial turf can be slippery and dangerous. But Toronto's Jesse Barfield can tell you that even Cleveland's real grass isn't always safe. And if you want to talk wind, check this one out. A small plane in Toronto that was literally blown backwards past the light poles from the gales off Lake Ontario. So you can imagine what would happen to a tiny baseball there.
So you see, there are a lot of strange ballparks in the major leagues, including Fenway Park here in Boston. But maybe that's what makes the game so great. You never know where this thing's going to end up. Now let's go back to Tom Rather.
That's right. You just never know, but you can bet the players will be doing their best to keep their eye on that baseball. And we're going to keep an eye on all the pregame activity, which is scheduled to begin momentarily here at the Metrodome. And when we come back, we'll take a look at what it takes to get all the hoopla and the game itself all together. Stay with us.
Lobsters are coming from far and wide. They're coming in record numbers. They're coming to Red Lobster Fest. It's the lobster party of the year, and you're invited to feast on more than 20 incredible lobster dishes, half under $8. Everything from Langostino marinara to lobster louis to a Maine lobster feast. So come out of your shell at Red Lobster Fest. Our lobsters are really taking off.
Red Lobster for seafood.
Your Toyota dealer's out to bust his sales record for this month with the biggest inventory of trucks ever. Everyone priced to sell fast, so make your record-busting deal in a tough Toyota truck or cargo van. Factory incentives to dealers on selected truck models and cargo vans could save you more bucks. Need a truck? See your Toyota dealer first and make a record-busting deal from the biggest inventory of Toyota trucks ever. The Toyota Truck Sales Buster. Don't miss out.
A spill. An oil spill is a problem these unique 3M blown microfibers solve. But then, 3M scientists, using the fiber's good insulating potential, turned the same technology into a different idea. Thinsulate thermal insulation, and winter wear got slimmer and warmer. We encourage such mind stretching at 3M. We probe and explore, and we listen. And one idea leads to another at 3M.
Hey, Twin Cities, come to a grand opening you can't afford to miss. Mills Fleet Farm in Brooklyn Park.
You'll find spectacular sale prices in all our departments, like automotive supplies.
Small appliances.
Quality all-wood cabinets by Riviera.
Lawn and garden needs.
Carpet and floor covering.
You could win this 1985 Ford Bronco 2 or one of thousands of other prizes.
Don't miss out Thursday through Sunday at Mills Fleet Farm.
Highway 169 and 85th Avenue North in Brooklyn Park.
We are back live from the Metrodome, getting closer to the beginning of this 56 All-Star game. And out on the field right now, playing the Jefferson High School Band from Bloomington, Minnesota, as the pregame activity is really just getting underway. There's also a festive air outside the stadium right now as the fans continue to come to the game. Our Randy Shaver is outside the dome. Randy.
All right, thanks very much, Tom. I'm watching Hondo the Magician the Great. Give us a little nod there, Hondo. He's putting a trick together. Hondo is one of many of the street entertainers who have been in the Twin Cities for the last week, entertaining fans and entertaining some of the visitors here. It is all part of the festivities leading up to tonight's ball game. And last night, in honor of the game, fireworks lit up the sky over the Mississippi during the All-Star Family Fanfare Show. It was one of the many celebrations in the Twin Cities, as News 11's Andrea Shane reports.
While local dignitaries may have been off-key, their spirit was there from the start. A week ago, they were at the Dome to make sure everything would be finely tuned. And the excitement didn't take long to spread to the streets.
There's a 1, 2, 3 strike sure out at the home.
This woman was just one of many who expressed her enthusiasm, as did this brass band. It turned a sunny afternoon into Saturday night at the fights. And then came the real thing out at the Dome. The top 5 sluggers from each league squared off in a home run derby. Tom Bernansky of the Twins clinched it for the American League. Some 46,000 fans came to watch, more than at any other pregame practice in history. Just about as many onlookers joined in at the fun at River Place for a parade and a glimpse of baseball's commissioner, Peter Uberoff.
And at the same time, an exclusive party at the AmFac, invitation only from the commissioner, 1,800 guests.
Never before, say these grand old men of the game, has there been a celebration of such magnitude, with the best, the game itself, yet to come. Andrea Shane, News 11.
Well, fans are enjoying themselves with Hondo the Magician outside the dome. Let's go inside and see how the fans are doing with Jeff Pascal.
All right, thanks, Randy. The fans are looking forward to some fun. The fans starting to fill into the seats here in the Metrodome. And with all the work that went towards putting it together, they should have a good time. It was a lot of work put into the game when the last All-Star game was held here in Minnesota some 20 years ago, back in 1965. Our Sunrise crew of Marty Burns-Wolf and John Bachman found out there's a big difference between putting the game on then and now.
The All-Star game in Bloomington, Minnesota 20 years ago. The young Twins were headed for the World Series that year, and 6 members of the Twins roster were on the American League team, including Tony Oliva, now a Twins coach.
I remember I got a big double against the left field wall against Bob Gibson.
Gibson rifles a pitch over the outside corner, and Oliva meets it perfectly. He drives it into left center.
It was one of those games where you didn't leave till the last hour was recorded, especially with Oliva leading off the bottom of the ninth with a double and representing the tying run.
Tom Mee has been with the Twins organization from the start, and he's still got a scorecard from that '65 All-Star game. Mee was instrumental in the planning for the game. He even put together the program, which featured a cover showing both Twin cities and listing many of the outlying towns that had supported the young team. But the hoopla then was on a much smaller scale.
We had a band back in '65, and we introduced all the players on the lines and that sort of standard pregame introduction type of thing. Now they hire a choreographer, so it's real Hollywood now.
Hollywood indeed, and Marty Burns-Wolf has that story.
The glitz of Hollywood doesn't come easy.
Okay, let's do it once more. Tweet, tweet, tweet.
What you see here is art in the making. And helping to make this all-star event worth all-star attention, 180 kids. Their mural project means the all-star game has more than just all-stars. It has... The murals are permanent artwork that will be around the Metrodome for weeks. But all of the banners, signs, billboards, and posters are temporary. Still, the preparations have been more than 45 weeks in the making and involved more than 400 people. Even the last-minute sprucing up at the dome itself, costing about $100,000, has run right up to the last minute.
Okay, let me see what I can do here.
Add to that a nationwide focus that means miles and miles of cable and the proud peacock in the parking lot, and all of it for a game that will last just about 3 hours. But then, that's entertainment. Marty Burns-Wolf, News 11 at the Metrodome.
And lots of good entertainment indeed. Tom Reither has a bird's-eye view of it all, so let's go back to him. Tom?
All right, Jeff, thank you very much. So we have looked at the game now and back then, and speaking of now and then, this is the first year for some new management for the Minnesota Twins, and when we come back, we'll visit with new owner Carl Pohlad and former owner Calvin Griffith for their thoughts on tonight's big game.
Your Toyota dealer is out to bust his sales record for this month with the biggest inventory of trucks ever. Everyone priced to sell fast, so make your record-busting deal in a tough Toyota truck or cargo van. Factory incentives to dealers on selected truck models and cargo vans could save you more bucks. Need a truck? See your Toyota dealer first and make a record-busting deal from the biggest inventory of Toyota trucks ever. The Toyota Truck Sales Buster. Don't miss out.
Red Lobster goes all over the world to get the best seafood. So you only have to go as far as Red Lobster.
There's never been a better time, never been a better place.
With everything from seafood salads to seafood pasta to a variety of fresh fish, we have more delicious ways to catch you.
There's never been a better time for seafood.
just stepped into a world of comedy and adventure.
3 dead men are in your park.
All right, Morris. And he's taking his best friend with him.
I'm not well, you know.
And it's all because...
Oh, come on!
He's the man with one red shoe.
What are we? This one's on me, pal.
Rated PG.
Starts Friday at a theater near you.
Thousands of Twin Cityans are alive today because the doctors and nurses of 2 special hospitals have more experience in treating heart diseases than anyone else. Whether it's diagnosing, preventing, or treating heart problems, together, these 2 hospitals lead all the rest. Where do you find them? In the heart of the Twin Cities, United Hospital of St. Paul and Metropolitan Medical Center of Minneapolis, working together for you as Health One.
We're back live at the Metrodome in this historic night. As you can imagine, it's a big night not only for the players, but for the Twins organization, which is hosting the game. And that includes both team owner Carl Pohlad and former owner Calvin Griffith, who gave up the ship last year. Jeff Passo leads a team report on this first year since the changing of the guard.
There goes Yount, going to third, a throw by Laudner, safe at third.
That was a pretty close play at third base, and then I'll tell you that.
Calvin Griffith. He's still listed as chairman of the board of the Minnesota Twins, but for the first time ever, he's rooting for someone else's team, having sold the club last season. It may seem hard to believe, but Calvin says he doesn't miss much about being an owner, especially one particular area.
Don't have to worry about you guys asking me questions and answering them and putting them in the paper on the air or something like that. I'm just having a ball of a time.
Calvin's connection with All-Star Baseball dates back to 1933, when his stepfather Clark, who owned the Washington Senators, took part in the Classic. When the elder Griffith passed away in 1955, baseball honored the Hall of Famer with the only memorial game ever, played in 1956 at the stadium in Washington named for the honoree. The Senators' new owner, Calvin Griffith, was on hand, as was his son Clark II, who threw out the first ball. Then, in 1961, Calvin brought the Twins to Minnesota. And in 1965, Metropolitan Stadium played host to Minnesota's first All-Star game. Ironically, that same year, the Twins also played in Minnesota's first World Series. And with hopes of repeating that double play, Calvin is looking forward to tonight's Classic.
Definitely. I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm just hoping that the American League can win one.
Meanwhile, Griffith's replacement owner, Carl Pohlad, is looking for a long-range winner in the team. Dale Shornack spoke with the new owner about his first year at the helm.
That's a beautiful noise, the Twins owner, Carl Pohlad.
I can't tell you how much personally I appreciate the support the fans have given the Twins this year.
Pohlad is grateful to the fans who've cheered for the team through a season of ups and downs. And he's proud of his players who've kept swinging through the slumps.
We simply have to get that mental attitude changed and get them thinking positively to where they, what I call, play loose rather than play tense.
And the better they play, the better the investment. Last summer, when it looked like the Twins might be moved out of Minnesota, Carl Pohlad paid $45 million to keep the home team at home.
I never anticipated that the Twins investment was going to be a great financial return investment. I simply anticipated it would probably, hopefully, operate on a break-even basis.
Pohlad says the All-Star game will stir up even more enthusiasm in Twins fans. And as long as the fans keep cheering, Pohlad says he'll do what it takes to put the Twins back on top.
I'm not in the habit of being a loser. And I don't expect to have a losing ball team very long.
Dale Shornack, News 11.
Two very different but very interesting men who share a common love, a common bond, the Minnesota Twins. And, well, the game will be starting shortly, with the pregame festivities are in full swing down on the field. Let's go down there right now and show you some of the activity. The main theme of this All-Star game is a family gathering, and it depicts family life here in Minnesota since the early days up until the present time. Barbershop quartets, perhaps this period from the gay 90s all the way through the 1920s. Part of the great site here, prelude to the 56th All-Star game here at the Metrodome. Now, this extravaganza uses 1,200 people in all, and all volunteers. They are not being paid for this performance. It includes all kinds of flag team members. It is a great, great show they're putting on for the crowd right now. All right, we will be back, and we'll be meeting the man responsible for this pregame show in a moment.
Spill. An oil spill is a problem these unique 3M blown microfibers solve. But then 3M scientists, using the fiber's good insulating potential, turned the same technology into a different idea. Thinsulate thermal insulation, and winter wear got slimmer and warmer. We encourage such mind stretching at 3M. We probe and explore, and we listen. And one idea leads to another at 3M.
Your Toyota dealer's out to bust his sales record for this month with the biggest inventory of trucks ever. Everyone priced to sell fast, so make your record-busting deal in a tough Toyota truck or cargo van. Factory incentives to dealers on selected truck models and cargo vans could save you more bucks. Need a truck? See your Toyota dealer first and make a record-busting deal from the biggest inventory of Toyota trucks ever. The Toyota Truck Sales Buster. Don't miss out.
They're getting all dressed up with only one place to go. Red Lobster Fest. It's the lobster party of the year with more than 20 lobster dishes, half under $8. It's everything from lop kebabs and langostino marinara to lobster louis and a Maine lobster feast. At Red Lobster Fest, there's never been a better time to have a good time with a lobster.
Long after most stores are closed, we're still open at Twin City Tire. And since we extended our Monday through Friday hours from 7 a.m. till midnight, a lot of working people have stopped in to shop. But free time is valuable too, so we still install most tires in 20 minutes or less, even late at night. Whatever the hour, Twin City Tire won't be undersold. Call us for a quote, or just stop out and see us. Any weeknight, we're Twin City Tire, 494 at Lindale in Richfield.
In case you're wondering, the man who put this show together is a gentleman by the name of Tommy Walker. He also did the opening ceremonies for the Olympics, so this man has a lot of experience. Now, locally, the lone twin on the American League team tonight is Tom Bernansky, who was named by manager Sparky Anderson. Randy Shaver leads a team report on some all-star twins of the past and the present.
Tom Bernansky is one half of the infamous Bruise brothers. Bruno and Kent Herbeck adopted their intimidating identities last year, and this season Bernansky has lived up to the billing. Bruisin' Bruno, with big bat in hand, is definitely the Twins' hitman. Bernansky has 19 home runs, 56 RBIs, and a respectable .261 batting average. Those numbers add up to his best start ever as a major leaguer, and are why he's an all-star.
This has more or less been a dream because I never could talk myself into thinking I'd be able to play in an all-star game. And I think it's just, it's outstanding that it happens to be in Minnesota.
That means a lot to Bruno, because here in the Dome, he's right on target with the fans. And that hometown affection should make for a memorable introduction tonight.
Well, I hadn't really thought too much about it until Dave Engel talked to me about when he was in San Francisco and the Giants players got the ovation for about 5 minutes. And he said with the start on hand, he said, I hope you can make it so you can hear that ovation.
How can the Twins hitman not get an ovation? After all, Tom Bernansky deserves it. Other Twins have heard that all-star applause before, and Steve Carroll talked with a few of them.
1970 was Jim Perry's best year, winning the Cy Young Award with 24 victories, while making the first of his 2 all-star appearances.
It was kind of exciting, and one thing I say, 1970 was an exciting time when we played in Cincinnati. That time, my brother Gaylord was with the Giants, and we both were chosen for the all-star game.
Nowadays, Perry is starting up a long-distance phone company. His office in Sioux Falls, South Dakota was completed in late June.
Hi, is Bob there?
Coke is it, Bob Allison speaking.
Outfielder Bob Allison is a branch manager with a Coca-Cola company in Eagan, having worked his way up in the 25 years he's been with them. Allison played in 2 All-Star games during his 10 years as a Twin, the 1963 Midsummer Classic being a game he'll always remember.
Gene Autry came through the American League locker room just prior to the game and shook every player's hand and told them, you know, he wished them well and hoped that the American League would be able to beat the National League.
Deep to left field. This should make it. Way back. Home run couple.
Harmon Killebrew is calling the home runs now instead of hitting them. He's a television announcer for the Twins. Harmon played in 11 All-Star games, more than any other Twins player, and blasted the homer in the 1965 game played at Met Stadium. Each of his All-Star appearances has special meaning.
You know, I guess it's every ball player's dream to play in the World Series, and certainly those are big thrills. But All-Star games, I think, are something special to a player. I played in games when you were selected by the fans and also by the players, and I don't think there's any difference.
Hall of Famer Harmon Killebrew, 2-time All-Star Bob Allison, and Cy Young Award winner Jim Perry. 3 All-Stars who have made the Twins proud both on and off the field. Steve Carroll, News 11.
All right, and let's not forget our 3 local guys from St. Paul on the American League team, Winfield, Molitor, and Morris. We'll see them tonight. Before we go to NBC, we salute the Minnesota Twins, All-Stars in their own right. See you later.
Two names join the old, another team unfolds. They're right at home in the Metrodome, so let's play ball. I'm talking baseball. Viola and the G-Man Twins baseball. Kent Herbeck, he's a key man. Hatcher, Tim, and Butcher coming through. Then there's Smithson and Bruno Puckett too. Just like Tony, the Killer, and Carew. Twins baseball. The Twins are coming through. Herbie, Herbie, Herbie. I'm talking baseball. Baseball and the Twins. Bruno, Bruno, Bruno. Twins baseball. Minnesota coming through. Mickey, Mickey, Mickey. Talking baseball. The Twins are coming through. G-Man, G-Man, G-Man.
The 1985 All-Star Game. Brought to you in part by Toyota, who reminds you to buckle up and use child safety seats. It's a good feeling. This has been a News 11 Sports Special. And now, stay tuned for NBC's exclusive live coverage of the 1985 All-Star Game.
How will you know what will happen today? Who will start? Who will strike? Who will score? How will you know? Who will run? Who will fly? How hard will they hit? How hard will they fall? How will you know? How will you know what will happen today? Who will start? Who will stumble? Who will retire? Who will inspire? How will you know? News 11.
I'm Paul Majors.
And I'm Diana Pierce. Coming up on News 11.
A dramatic story from California where a wave of flames trapped the News 11 crew as they covered the fires swirling around that state. We'll have an exclusive report following the game. Also, firefighters in Iowa had to face a huge cloud of toxic smoke for 22 hours today. Deadly smoke that sent 10,000 Cedar Rapids residents to emergency shelters. The governor has declared the Cedar Rapids area a state of emergency, and 7 people have been injured.
And our investigative team continues its probe into the forgotten veterans. Women who served in Vietnam were exposed to Agent Orange, and they feel they are victims. Tonight, Steve Wilson tries to get some answers for them. And on News 11 Extra, a Minnesota family tries to walk away from a tragedy that's hard for most of us to even think of. Alan Costantini with the story of Sarah Ann Reardon's family, trying to put their lives in order after her mysterious death.
Please join us tonight following the All-Star Game for News 11.
Coming next, baseball's 1985 All-Star Game is produced